के संबंध में दावा करने और
There has been a long-standing issue in Assam going back nearly almost 100 years to the concerns of people from outside migrating into the province as it was then and then the state, and posing what regarded locally and what is regarded locally as a potential demographic challenge to, quote, the sons of the soil, unquote. And this has been a long-standing concern. It figured even in pre-partition times as a major issue. So the map of India is today what it is because of Assam Congress Party's position at that time against taking Assam away from where it is and locating it in East Bengal, which was what the Muslim League was trying to do. So there is a historical, political reason, rationale behind these concerns. In 51, there was a first National Register of Citizens in Assam. It's the only state where this has been created. And that is again because of concerns of how many people had migrated, how many people were in Assam from Assam, the whole region, composite region of Assam as it were, which today has several states including Nagaland, Mizoram and Meghalaya. This concern about outsiders was really sparked then in the late 1970s, early 80s by the movement, what's called the anti-foreigners movement in Assam, which is led by the All Assam Students' Union, which led to a lot of clashes. There was a lot of violence, a lot of protests, demonstrations, this fear of being outnumbered, etc. Some of it factual, some of it, I think, hyped up and becoming a major political issue. Many thousands died during that movement. It was a very unfortunate and tragic time in the history of Assam. You had incidents like the Nelly massacre and Gohpur and so on. But at the end of it, there was, in a way, a silver lining and a chance of hope and peace, which was essentially the Assam Accord of August 1585 between the Government of India, Government of Assam and the agitating groups, which said that, those post 1971, 1971, which is March 25, 1971, which is the creation of Bangladesh, would be detected and deported and struck off the rolls, the electoral rolls. But there was also a clause which is relevant today in the context of the NRC being completed in Assam recently, and that is with regard to 70,000 people from East Pakistan, largely Hindus who had crossed over into Assam between 1966 and 71. They were regarded as illegal immigrants, but they were struck off the electoral list, but then the names were restored after 10 years. Not many people know about this clause in the accord, and there were other things in the accord. So there was then a space for peace, but then insurgencies took over. There were new challenges to the state, a lot of violence which picked up, insurgency, anti-insurgency, crackdowns, and then again a space when things calmed down with the various insurgent groups virtually throwing in the towel and signing peace accords. So in 2012 or 13, the Assam government agreed to revive the demand, as it were, for the NRC, a revised NRC. And since then, this process has been going on. There's been one chap who's been leading it, which is Pratika Jela, the current coordinator. And, it's raised a whole hornet's nest. It's tried to resolve the issues. If you ask me the question about whether it's been fair, authentic and well documented, I would say that it's full of mistakes. And I think that a lot of people who should have been on it are not on it, and perhaps some who shouldn't be on it are it. Because we need to make a distinction, a great distinction between what the NRC is and the effort at detecting foreigners who are illegal migration, informal migration, which is taking place even as we speak. Because the NRC is essentially to establish who is a bona fide Indian citizen. I mean, insofar as you can establish that through documentation and so on. But there are many cases where people don't have adequate documentation, where the names have been spelled wrongly, or they have incorrectly entered the father's name as something else, a mistake in the spelling. And that has led to a lot of complications, to many Indian nationals being left out of the process. So one of the problems I think that the BJP has with the current NRC is that many Hindus are left out. I think the anticipation was from all sides that many Muslims would be shown up as illegal foreigners living in Assam, and that didn't turn out to be the case. What happened was you had about 1.1 million, 11 lakh Hindus out of 19, and 7 lakh Muslims, and 1 lakh plus who are other indigenous groups, including there have been Gurkhas and others who have been long time residents of the state. So, this shows you, I think there is another issue of are people happy with the process? I think nobody is happy. The BJP is unhappy, the AGP is unhappy, the Congress is unhappy. So it shows that at least in unhappiness, perhaps there is a bonding. Nobody is pleased with the way things went, because there are challenges, as I said, on documentation. There's also a concern about elements of prejudice which may have crept into the process in a few areas. But the fact that it shows that perhaps migration is not as substantial as has been positioned over the years actually challenges the core of some of the issues that have been raised for many years.